CMSportsNet is made possible by Genova's To Go and by Carroll Links.
Football Playoffs Highlight Show. I'm Pat Stoetzer, and joining me is Winters Mill coach Matt Miller. Coach, thanks for being a part of this tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the reason you're here, Winters Mill earned the 2A, 1A West first round bye by virtue of the number one seed. The rest of us, we'll talk about that later. How does it feel to have the week off and get ready for next week?
I told you earlier, took a little getting used to. Usually try and keep our momentum going coming out of the week, try to build off of what we did the previous week, but it turned out to be kind of a blessing in disguise. We had opportunity to address some issues on the field, things we wanted to clean up, things in the classroom, kids in their grades, and just getting the kids the opportunity to get healthy. So it's been nice. I don't know if I want to do that a lot, but it's nice to get back out in the field and play, but we'll take it.
We appreciate you being here. We're going to be showing you highlights from 3 first-round playoff games from around Carroll County. You've got Williamsport at South Carroll, Century at Liberty, and Manchester Valley at Westminster. Coach Miller, before we get started, just wanted to recognize the outstanding regular season you guys put together. What have the last 9 weeks been like for the Falcons?
It has been so much fun. Year in and year out, I love our kids at Winters Mill High School, whether they're 8-1 or 1-8. Like, I love our kids. But for our kids this fall to be able to put their best foot forward, hold their heads a little bit higher, it's really been neat. We've had games we've won by some decent scores. We've had some games where we had to gut it out till the end. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope to keep it going. It is. I'm so happy for our kids.
Yeah, well, it's been fun to watch for sure. Congrats on the great year so far. We have some football playoff highlights coming up, but first we're going to hear from our sponsors. But don't go away. Our playoff highlight show will be coming right back.
Hungry? Genova's To Go. Pizza, pasta, subs, and more. Fresh hot pizza right from the oven. Genova's To Go. A mouth-watering cheesesteak just off the grill. Genova's To Go. Fresh baked bread and plump wings seconds from the fryer. Genova's To Go. Genova's To Go carry-out, delivery, mobile device, and online ordering is available at all locations. Westminster, Hampstead, Manchester, and our newest dining room in Eldersburg. For lunch, dinner, or any time in between. Genova's To Go.
Welcome back to CMSportsNet's Football Playoffs Highlight Show. Pat Stoetzer alongside Winters Mill coach Matt Miller, getting ready to see how the opening round of the regional playoffs are going for Carroll County's teams. Before we get into the games, let's take a look at the brackets that we've got lined up. The regional playoffs kicked off tonight, so week 10 or week 1 of the playoffs. If you, depending on your style there, you got Winters Mill, like we mentioned with the bye, South Carroll hosting Williamsport, Liberty hosting Century, and Key going out to Frederick County to face Middletown. That's the 2A, 1A West region. And then we have 2 other Carroll County teams in action we did tonight in the 3A West region. And we'll take a look at that bracket too. That's also Man Valley and county champion Westminster. Sherwood advanced. They had a game Thursday night, beat South Hagerstown to advance. And Linganore took care of Rockville. So the winner of Westminster Man Valley gets the Lancers, and Oakdale, number 1 seed, winner of North Hagerstown, would get Sherwood in that next round. So those are the brackets heading into tonight. Coach, let's start with Williamsport and South Carroll from Parker Field, and let's see what happened in tonight's playoff matchup. Let's go ahead and take it away with some highlights. Williamsport and South Carroll for the 4th time in their all-time series. The Cavaliers lead it 3-0 to beat the Wildcats in the 2021 playoffs en route to the state final that season. 2 teams you saw this year as well, Coach, and earlier in the year, obviously got wins against both of them. Williamsport's going to strike first when quarterback Noah Raley keeps it himself, and he's going to rumble down the near sideline for a long Wildcats touchdown. Good job by Raley to keep it and score down the sideline. 7-0 midway through the first quarter. Wildcats are driving again, but South Carroll's defense can come up with a turnover here. It's a fumble. Cutter Stanton's going to fall on the ball. It's a fumble recovery, and the Cavs take over. So Williamsport's first mistake, and South Carroll gets the benefit. Wildcats do get it back late in the first quarter, and they keep the pressure on here. Rayleigh going to go over the top and get a first down. Catch made by number 9, Seonta Wilmore. He's going to drop back. Rayleigh is here on this play. In the second quarter, he's going to find Wilmore, who goes up and gets it. Oh, actually, across the middle there, sorry, a couple plays later. And that was a fourth down play. Rayleigh makes a play across the middle to Messiah Martin for a huge fourth down conversion. Now, the Wildcats look to score deep in the red zone here again, but a fumbled snap, and Gennaro Marchani comes up with the ball for South Carroll, and the Cavs make another stand. But Martin ends the Cavs drive with an interception on there. Caleb Evans drops back to throw it here, and Martin makes the play. There it is right there, goes up and gets it. And Williamsport takes over on offense with less than 6 minutes to go in the quarter. So nice play by Martin. Now South Carroll has Williamsport in the 3rd and 20 on this play here. Rayleigh puts a man in motion and finds Wilmore for a long play. It's over the middle, and it turns into a huge touchdown pass and a backbreaker here at the end of the second quarter for Williamsport. The point after makes it 14-0 for the Wildcats. Cavs do have an answer, though. Anthony Rodriguez is going to cap this drive late in the quarter. That's what they needed, a touchdown run. So the Cavs on the board late in the second quarter. The PAT is good. South Carroll trails 14-7 at the half. Pick it up here midway through the third quarter, and it's going to be Rayleigh to Wilmore again. This was another big play, 3rd and 5, and Wilmore is going to get around that edge and score a Wildcats touchdown. So Williamsport came into this game with a 5-game losing streak. They certainly looked pretty good, up 21-7 here after the PAT. First and 10 now again. Williamsport early fourth quarter. Rayleigh gives it to Corey Nelson up the middle, and he is gone for the touchdown, just right through the heart of South Carroll's defense. The PAT is going to be good. Wildcats in command, up 28-7. Looking for their first win ever against South Carroll, and that's the final score. That's it from Parker Field. Final score, Williamsport 28, South Carroll 7. The Cavaliers' win streak of 3 comes to an end in the regional playoffs, and Williamsport, like I said, snaps a 5-game losing streak. Coach, you just mentioned you beat both these teams during the regular season. Just your thoughts about what we watch here tonight with Williamsport and South Carroll.
Watching film of these two teams, because we're prepping for them, I really thought it was a flip of a coin. They have very contrasting styles. I thought if South Carroll were to win the game, they would continue to do what they've done the last 3 weeks, be very efficient in the run game, make their timely passes. The receivers do a nice job of getting open and catching the ball, and the quarterback puts it on the spot. They feature number 26 in the run game.
Right.
I thought if Williamsport was to win the football game, what you saw, big plays. Number 9 can score probably anytime he touches it. Number 14 was Washington County Offensive Player of the Year last year.
Wow.
So in this case, I think what we saw was Williamsport made the big plays, and South Carroll got behind the sticks. They just couldn't keep pace. So kudos to Williamsport for a good win, and actually, kudos to South Carroll.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a tough thing when you start out 5 or 6 losses in a row.
Yeah.
And their kids circled the wagons, and they got themselves a home playoff game, and I think Coach Crumley has a lot to build on down there.
Yeah, it seems like it. Williamsport moves on. South Carroll ends their season 3-7. We're going to get to a county versus county matchup now from Eldersburg, where Liberty was hosting Century for the second time in as many weeks. Let's head to the Lions Den and find out how this one played out. Century and Liberty, again, weird that they play back-to-back weeks, but such is the way in the playoff round. Liberty beat them 35-0 last week to finish the regular season at 4-5, and it's going to be a rivalry game like this, as Coach Miller knows. It's never something you take lightly on both sides. So Liberty and Century both fired up and ready to go in their second matchup in as many weeks. And on the opening kickoff, you're going to see David Akinboye get the ball and have a really nice return by Liberty on the opening kickoff to give the Lions great field position to start. Akinboye is going to get all the way down past midfield for Liberty, so great start by the Lions. Kevin Poole takes the handoff, and the Knights appear to stop him right off the bat, but he shakes off the tackle and goes the rest of the way untouched for a 26-yard touchdown. Extra point makes it 7-0 less than 2 minutes into this one. So Liberty strikes first, and they strike in a hurry. After the Lions defense forces a 3-and-out, this time Liberty makes a good punt return. See right here, and they take over at the Century 24. So nice job by Liberty special teams to set up the first touchdown, and this one's going to put them in good field position here as well. On the first play of the next drive, Seth Jacobs goes around the right end. He's going to break a tackle, tiptoe the sideline right there, and sprint in for another touchdown. 14-0 after 4 minutes and 28 seconds of game play. So Liberty firing off on all cylinders right away. After a couple of first downs, Century gets across midfield, and the Lions come up and they hit a big hit here on Trey Helmick, number 33. Keep him out, keep him from getting to the edge. Century's got it here early second quarter. They're going to go for it on fourth down. A pass into the end zone is going to be incomplete, and Century turns it over on downs inside the red zone. So a tough way for Century possession to fall short there, stall out. Liberty takes over. Poole takes it in for another rushing touchdown the other way, and the Lions extend their lead to 20-0 late in the second quarter. It's all Liberty in the first half in this rivalry game, playoff-style rivalry game. That's the score at the half from Liberty. Carter Hendricks going to make a big play for the Lions early in the third quarter. Bobbled snap there on the exchange to quarterback, and Hendricks falls on the ball on Century's opening drive of the second half. Liberty back on offense in Knights territory. And guess who? It's going to be Kevin Poole again in the end zone untouched for another Lions touchdown. Liberty's going to go up 27-0 in the third quarter. Poole's done a really good job late for the Lions with Seth Jacobs, their primary guy, battling some injuries. Now Tristan West going to get on the scoring action. This catch here by throw by Chase Miller, caught by West down the near sideline, stays in bounds. 33-0. Extra point was blocked. Liberty takes a 33-0 lead there in the third quarter. And after the ensuing kickoff, you're going to see here a play in the end zone and a sack in the end zone, and the safety gives the Lions a 35-0 lead, and they're going to install the running clock from there based on the lead. Chase Miller finds some room up the middle here. Going to fake the handoff to Akinboye and not get many hands on him. Another Liberty touchdown. The home team leads 42-0. And the running clock is going to run things out the rest of the way. Final score, Liberty 42, Century 0. The Lions beat the Knights for a second week in a row to advance in the regional playoffs. So Liberty moves to 5-5. They're going to get a road game against Middletown next week. Coach Matt Miller, again, two teams you saw during the regular season. In this game, what stood out to you the most after we watched those highlights?
Number 7 has really come on for them through the course of the year. I note number 27 was a big player for them last year on a very good offense.
Yep.
And I guess, you said he's dealing with injuries.
He had been, yeah.
Yep. And then number 7 has really stepped up. He rattled off a really nice long run against us a couple of weeks ago. So it's not surprising to see them move the ball with their playmakers. Number 17 is a big target. What impressed me with their quarterback, just through the year, watching him on film, he does a nice job keeping his eyes downfield. I don't think he gets rattled too easily. He can kind of put the ball where he wants to. But just great, solid performance by Liberty. And Century, it's tough.
Yeah.
Number 33, I really like them I really like him as a player.
Yep,
I think
Helmick.
he does a nice job. Wasn't their night tonight.
Yeah, and I think they struggled with some injuries during the season too. They had some quarterback changes there as well. You want to hope that they can just keep their heads up. I know they had some success at JV level this year, and so hopefully that the cupboard gets replenished and they get back at it next year.
Yeah, you had some games with Century this year where they played close games. They played South Carroll pretty close. They played Westminster pretty close. So they have things that they can certainly work on. I know Coach Ferguson down there will take care of business. And, congrats to Coach Luth and his staff and his kids. And, best luck going to Middletown.
Get a playoff win. They're moving on. All right, our final game of the night takes place at Ruby Field, where Westminster hosted Manchester Valley in a rematch of their Week 5 game. Let's go to the Owl's Nest. When the Mavericks played at Westminster a month ago, the Owls won 19-7. That was their lowest scoring total of the year in a game Man Valley was in all the way, but made some mistakes and could not pull off the upset. Will tonight be a repeat? We're going to find out right now. As the Owls take the field at Ruby Field, get a home playoff game for being the higher seed. The Mavericks methodically marched down the field in their first drive, and Isaiah Farabee running around the right side of the line for 14 yards there, one of 12 plays, and 7 minutes of a drive, then it's 63 yards. Braden Fritz capped that first drive with his 24-yard field goal, and 3-0 Manchester Valley with 4:45 to go in the first quarter. After forcing the Owls into a 3-and-out, quarterback Gene Magan runs around, eludes Jasir Donald, which is not easy a thing to do, and it's going to find a wide-open Braden Fritz on the sideline. Third play of the second quarter, he gets left alone behind Westminster's defense, and that's a big play for the Mavericks to set themselves up again, and that's a big third down conversion, too. 4 plays later, 4th and 1. Fairby's going to take a pitch from Magan to the right side and goes in untouched, gets around the side, 10-yard touchdown and a 10-0 Manchester Valley lead. Great start for the Mavericks. After another 3-and-out, it's going to be Magan finding Fritz again with a pass. And Fritz is going to find room and take it for 24 yards. So big plays for Manchester Valley throughout the first half. 2 plays later, Kingston Canby's going to score on a 2-yard run, and Manchester Valley is going to take a 17-0 lead in a half that was dominated completely by the Mavericks to that point, who they had 10 first downs to none for the Owls, and they led in total yardage, 188-15. So just a dominant performance by Man Valley in the first half of this one. Westminster finally got something going late in the second quarter, when quarterback Kyrese Walker went deep to Braden Troop, and he's going to make a nice catch over the shoulder on a bomb that covers 48 yards late in the first half. That energizes the home team and the home fans. 4 plays later, on 4th and goal, the Owls are going to go for it. Walker's going to sprint to the right. He's going to find Troop right there in the corner. It was a tough play. They replayed it, talked about it for a while, but they did break the goal line, the officials decided, and that could possibly change some momentum. It was 17-7 late in the quarter, and it will be 17-7 at the half, with the Owls due to get the ball to start the third quarter. Westminster celebrating there. But Man Valley forces Westminster into a 3-and-out, and then Canby starts the next drive with this nifty 21-yard run. So right away, Man Valley sort of imposing its will, as they did in the first half against Westminster. 5 plays later, Fritz kicks this 27-yard field goal with plenty of room to go and pushes the Mavericks' advantage to 20-7 midway through the third. Now the Owls are driving here, and Walker is trying to go deep over the middle, but the ball's a little underthrown, and Man Valley's James Herndon steps in front and makes the interception right near the goal line. Walker trying to get it to Isaiah Sprinkle, but Herndon comes up with the INT. So a big play there, a big turnover for Man Valley. The Owls' next drive gets down to Man Valley's 30. We're into the fourth quarter now, but on 4th down, Walker tries to escape from the pressure, and the Mavericks' Cam Reed gets the strip sack and a second straight turnover when he falls on the ball. So another big play for Man Valley. They had a bunch of them tonight. 3 plays later, 3rd and 11, another big clutch play. Magan's going to find Herndon over the middle, deep down the middle for a 34-yard gain. Trying to salt this away the final 6.5 minutes. That led to another Fritz field goal, this time from 28 yards. Coach Miller knows what it's like to have a good kicker, and it is 23-7 with under 3 minutes to go in the fourth. But as we know, Westminster can score quick, and they scored in less than a minute. A long Walker run set up this catch and run by Raekwon Warfield. He's going to elude some defenders, and the nice moves around in the 10 and dives into the end zone for the touchdown. And Westminster had some life with 2:10 to go. They stayed alive too, going for 2 points here, down by 10. Walker's going to hit Troop again just inside the pylon, sort of the same play as that touchdown from earlier. And that 2-point conversion is good right in front of the official. That made it 23-15 with 2:10 to go. So only down by 8 now are the Owls. Westminster goes for the onside kick here, trying to get right back on offense. Josh Wagner's going to attempt the kick. Man Valley's going to fall on the ball. Nice job there, right near midfield. And they're going to recover it, and they're going to run the clock out. Westminster's going to use their timeouts. And their first win over Westminster since 2014 is in the books. Kingston Canby runs for more than 125 yards and a touchdown. Isaiah Fairby goes for 75 and a score, and Gene Magan throws for over 100 yards. The Mavericks improved to 6-4, and they beat the Owls for the first time since 2014. They'll face Linganore next week in the second round of the playoffs. Westminster's season ends at 8-2, and Kyrese Walker's career comes to an end, standout career, with 126 yards passing in this game, 42 yards on the ground. Some thoughts on that result, Coach? We watched it and we were a little surprised at the outcome.
Very impressive performance by Manchester Valley all around. They came in there and they committed to the ground game, and it was very apparent early
From
on.
the start, yep.
Westminster is incredibly stout inside. And what Manchester Valley has the kids up front that can match size for size with Westminster, and it was just very impressive how they came in and were able to run the ball, and they stayed committed to running the football.
I know the Carroll coaches are a tight-knit group. You coach with Coach Bernie Kuntz at Man Valley, and you're friends with Coach Basler too. Feels good, I'm sure, as a guy who was on that coaching staff too, to see him. Anytime you're down 10-2 in an all-time series and you get a win against somebody, it's a huge lift, especially in the playoffs. That's a big win for Man Valley.
Yeah, I mean, and Westminster right now, perennially they're the team that has the bullseye on their back because they've had a lot of success. They got a lot of great football players over there. And for Man Valley to come in there on the road to a place where they had lost just a couple weeks ago, kudos to them. It was, again, it was very impressive, what they were able to do tonight against Westminster.
No doubt. Congrats to the Mavericks as well. The first round of the playoffs is now in the books for Carroll County teams. Let's look at the final scores from around the county as we get set for the end. Well, we're going to see the end of Week 10 and get set for Week 11. So there's your Carroll County scores. Liberty 42-0 over Century. FSK was at Middletown tonight. The Knights trailed 6-0 early, then responded in a big way. Took out FSK 41-7. We saw Williamsport beat South Carroll, and Man Valley with that win on the road, like Coach Miller said, at Westminster. Now it's time to take a look at the updated regional playoff football brackets, and we'll start with Class 2A, 1A West. So like we had showed that before, it's going to be Liberty at Middletown, and Coach Miller gets the Williamsport Wildcats in the next round, a team they defeated earlier in the season. So we'll talk more about that in a second, but that's the 2A, 1A West, 4 teams that are remaining into the second round of the playoff. Now we'll go over to the 3A West bracket, and we will see Man Valley with the win goes to Linganore. Tough customer there in the second round for the Mavericks, but they'll go on the road again to face the Lancers and Oakdale Sherwood on the other side of that 3A West region bracket. After this round, the winners of the second round, you get reshuffled if you're in a state quarterfinal. So that wouldn't necessarily mean Linganore or Man Valley would advance to play those teams, but we'll see how that goes out. They got to win this round first and move on. But one round's in the books. And Coach Matt Miller, your thoughts on the first round results we saw tonight and just in general so far?
I just come back to the Manchester Valley Westminster game. I think that's probably your marquee matchup tonight. 2 county teams, the 2 biggest schools in the county, and Manchester Valley's ability to run the football. I saw firsthand Westminster, very impressive team, very, very good football players over there, very, 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 very good, well coached. And looking back at the film early on against Manchester Valley, Westminster, Man Valley had some mistakes that they made that were self-inflicted. It kind of took them off schedule. And you didn't see that tonight with them. They had a lot of kids contributing in the run game. They played with a little bit of an attitude. And Westminster couldn't get their explosive plays going. You didn't see Kyrese Walker rattle off a lot of runs. We saw the one pass down the field for, we said, 49 yards. But kudos to Manchester Valley's defense for keeping everything in front of them. Gang tackle. They were pretty physical tonight, and they stepped up when they needed it, and now they need to step up again because they got a pretty tall order in Linganore coming up next week.
Won the turnover game battle 2 tonight, which is obviously huge, like we talk about all the time. Before we head out of here tonight, I want to once again recognize Coach Miller and Winters Mill for putting together the best season in their program history. It's definitely been exciting and fun watching your team on the field this fall. We put together some of the more memorable plays that we got from Winters Mill's regular season, so we're going to watch those right now, get your thoughts as we watch the plays. So the top 5, in no particular order, but you remember the game here against South Carroll where you're in overtime and you needed to play on 4th down, and Parrisley comes up with a big sack for you there.
Yeah, he freelanced that. We didn't send him on that stunt. So he really made me look like a great coach in that moment.
You're glad he did, right? That was a big end. Of course, this game, FSK against Winters Mill earlier in the season on the 14th of September. FSK was in command for most of the game. Dallas Poole with a big pick there to sort of give your offense back. You needed a little bit of stop there against FSK.
Yeah, Dallas gives us so much. And he's like just quintessential Winters Mill football player.
Again here, this was Tommy Hinkhouse, kind of a tip pass, and it falls into his hands again while South Carolina was trying to get something going there in the regulation. You guys, your defense shined as it did most of the year there, so a nice play by Tommy. Let's go to the, speaking of defense, here's a ball that's batted into the hands of Camden Cook, and he's going to take it in for a pick 6. I think the only pick 6 you guys had this year, correct?
Correct.
Nice to see him take off and run like that when you know he's a good athlete. Kicking the ball, yeah, he's saying it came right to it. What was I supposed to do there, right?
Yeah, right. We did what we had to take care of.
Nice play by Camden Cook there. And you guys took advantage of the century. And then we had this one as our quote-unquote number one. I know you probably don't want to see it too much because you were by your nails. Had to have it. 4th and goal from 18 yards out. Aaron Jones catches the pass in the end zone. You're trailing the entire game. You tie it with no time left. Camden kicks the extra point, and you get out of there with a 7-6 win. Just talk about that one play. We've seen it a bunch of times in here. We put it in our plays of the month in September. You were on the sideline. What did you see right there in that play? Do you remember?
I saw our quarterback scramble out to the right and put it up across the middle of the field. Usually, when you're rolling out and you throw it back across your body to the middle of the field, that's usually a recipe for disaster. But when you have a 3-year starter who's been there before, things just have a way of working out for you. And Aaron stepped up and he made a great catch.
He did.
And then once that happens, I have a lot of confidence in Camden and his ability to convert the kick and for Caleb to put the ball down to hold it and for the line to make their blocks. Yeah. I didn't want it to be that close. It probably aged me a couple years, but when you have seasons like this and you win in football games, sometimes you win big and sometimes you win close. Sure. And they all count the same.
One last question. How much fun has it been for you and your staff from where we started in August to right now? You've talked about it a little bit tonight. Whether you're 1-8 or 8-1, whatever the record is, you know you're going to have fun. But for the kids to start 8-0 this year, to play for a county championship game, to reinvigorate the Winters Mill football program, not that you don't have faithfuls and fans and good moments throughout those seasons. How fun was this one compared to the most recent ones?
Oh, sometimes I have to remind myself, I got to enjoy this because it's easy to get mired in the day-to-day little things that might be nuisances or aggravations. So I do try to step back and enjoy it. I try never to take it for granted. I work with the best staff around, and we have a lot of fun together, but we wouldn't be here without our coaches. Right. I'll say this on camera, I could probably not show up and everything would happen just the way it's supposed to. But that's a testament to them because they understand what we're trying to do and we all work in the same direction. And then for the kids to buy into what we're doing, it's really been a lot of fun. And I am so proud to be a part of Winters Mill and Winters Mill football. I can't convey it enough.
Yeah, well, they would probably appreciate it if you did show up for next week, so don't try to do that.
No, I'll be there.
All right, good. Once again, thank you to Coach Matt Miller for spending some Friday night with us. His one Friday night off in a long time. He hangs out with us. We appreciate it. Good luck next week in the playoffs.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for our football playoffs highlight show this week. Thanks for watching, and a thank you to our sponsors as well. A reminder to stay in touch with CMSportsNet for more high school sports coverage and analysis throughout the fall postseason. Be sure to catch all of our high school sports content online on Facebook and YouTube, as well as our website at carrollmediacenter.org. And you can watch us on cable channel HD 1086. We're going to leave you now with every touchdown scored from all 3 games we gave you tonight. Thanks again, have a good weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Pizza, pasta, subs, and more. Fresh hot pizza right from the oven. Genova's to go. A mouth-watering cheesesteak just off the grill. Genova's to go. Fresh baked bread and plump wings seconds from the fryer. Genova's to go. Genova's to go carry-out, delivery, mobile device, and online ordering is available at all locations. Westminster, Hampstead, Manchester, and our newest dining room in Eldersburg. For lunch, dinner, or any time in between. Genova's to go.